It's your boy, um your boy Playful Panic, aka one of the co-founders of this hereby channel, and our boy Drago is joining us right now. They'll go at the stream. Oh yeah, I forgot to click record. Um, oh wait, I guess I could just do the intro to the stream first. Is to make a we're gonna record some footage of us trying to beat doors. One, say what up, Drago. Now let's be idiots and try to do this. So, yeah, I'm starting the video. What up, guys? It's your boy. I have a bunch of idiots, and today we're gonna be trying to beat doors. One. For the first time in forever. Let's do this. Okay. Let's do this. Chat, let's do this. Me and him are locking in. Lock in, okay, Drago? Lock in. I've played it over 100 times. I'm joking. Okay, I'm gonna buy a flashlight and vitamins. Do 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 do. Skip. No, there you go. Do 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 do. Yeah, I got that flashlight and some vitamins for the seat chase. Wait, did you not save your doorknobs? Well, if we don't win this one, you should have enough. Yo, eyes is a nuisance I've heard in floor 2. Yes, please don't. That'll ruin the game, to be honest. I didn't notice. Good thing I have my luck. Good thing I'm. I don't know. Yeah. While watching a Darman video. I don't know what I'm not Darman. You guys are gonna have art. A logical theory is crazy. Good one though. Good one. Good one. Doesn't matter. What was it? Haha, I have 2 of them. Doesn't bother me. No, we gotta work as a team, so let's not get too competitive. Go, 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 go! Go, go! Was it just me or was he delayed? 20. Oh, I hate these things. Oh man, don't tell me my dad's here with dinner. Don't worry. We'll die before we have to eat. It's knowing me. Right, Jarrett? Yeah, and then I'll put you on spectate. Dang it, I'm running out of batteries. I'll just save my flashlight for darker areas. The door open? Wait up! Dude, if it, did Rush activate? Yeah. Dude! You didn't tell me Eyes was here? I did not hear that. But I'm probably gonna hear that multiple times while I'm editing this video. As we all know, it's gonna take us multiple tries. Found the key? Did he actually? I need a battery, dude. Yeah. I was about to say it's probably just battery. I know. I'm smart. Give me a minute. I have to see if I can find dude, I need to see if I can find some batteries. 29, 30. Go. Okay, give me a minute. Let's see if I can make it past the seek part. 34, 35. I'm good. Because we all know I'm going to die at the next part. 38, 39. Here we are. Seek chase. I will. Oh. Go, 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 go. Okay. Okay, let's see if I can clutch this. Yeah. Oh god! Wait, my screen will turn! My screen will turn! My mouse glitched out. Okay. Well, let's get into back into the private server, and then I'll turn on the video, okay? Because I think I'm going to go eat, go chat. Jarrett will do a very good job in turning you, and if he doesn't, don't worry. I turn on a game theory for you. Oh yeah, let me start the recording. I'll just yeah, probably a FNAF one. They're the longest. So tough. Well, chat. Give me a minute. Let me put that on the opera. Okay, there we go. See what it gives you. What? I'll just turn on a ready video.
This is the complete lore of Secret of the Mimic. 2025 was a big year for FNAF. We finished off the interactive novel series, the second movie hit theaters, and of course, the crown jewel of summer 2025, an actual FNAF game, Secret of the Mimic. A game that promised to answer all of our questions about the earliest parts of the franchise. And there was a lot to talk about. Plus, we all know how complicated FNAF can be. It's hard to keep track of all the theories at the best of times. So I figured I'd give you guys a little gift and package all of our Secret of the Mimic theories up into one convenient little present that you can enjoy. Here is everything you need to know about FNAF Secret of the Mimic. Hello Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's jaw has been hanging open like a badly made Chica costume ever since the release of FNAF's Secret of the Mimic. And I'm not alone in that feeling. Every single YouTuber has been completely sideswiped by this game. Chica! I can't believe we got Chica! Hey! Oh my god, there she is! That's insane! Why has it taken us all by surprise? Well, besides the fact the game actually works, mostly, it also did something that is completely unheard of in a FNAF game. They actually gave us a story. And I don't mean the super cryptic kind that we have to spend years and years figuring out. I mean the kind that actually helps us move forward in this franchise. For a long time, the community has been frustrated with the lack of clarification out there for this series. It's been years of theory upon theory upon theory, and while we have come to certain agreements for parts of it, there are still massive sections of the lore that we haven't been able to agree on simply because there's never really been a solid foundation to jump off of. But now, after 11 years of this franchise, Secret of the Mimic came as the earliest entry in the FNAF timeline and said, guys, I got you, giving us relatively clear breakdowns of how the early years of Fazbear came to be, as well as throwing a bunch of hand cranks into the works that make us question everything we knew about this franchise. There's timelines that have been displaced, character personas completely shattered, and understandings of where the future of this franchise is going totally flipped on its head. Let's start from the beginning. We jump into the game as a lowly mechanic working for the wonderful as always Fazbear Entertainment. Our name is Arnold, and we've just gotten off of a 36-hour shift, only to be called in for one last job to help recover some Fazbear assets from one of their contractors, Edwin Murray. Begrudgingly, we head to Murray's costume manor, only to discover the asset is a set of blueprints for a killer animatronic endoskeleton that can fit into any costume and learn the role of any character or person, the Mimic. We gain access to different areas of the facility by upgrading our data diver with different permissions, from basic to security, repair, all the way up to executive privileges, all while trying to outrun or outweight the Mimic.
He's going for it.
Eventually, we get our hands on the blueprints, only to discover that it wasn't Fazbear talking to us through dispatch. It was the Mimic pretending to be them to get their hands on the data diver. This leads to one of three endings where we either escape and get killed by the Mimic, we escape and get killed by the Mimic, or we fix the Mimic and then just stand there watching it sleep. Now, these guys deserve an episode of their own because whichever one is canon could have massive implications that I just don't have time to get into right now. Instead, let's turn our attention to the stuff we can discover during the game, and the first of our big three characters, Edwin Murray. If you're a longtime viewer of this channel, or you're one of the people who understands my pain and has actually read the books, then that name isn't anything new. Edwin Murray is a character that we were introduced to in both The Storyteller and The Mimic from the Tales from the Peterplex series. His company was bought out by Fazbear. He created the Mimic to babysit his son David, but his son tragically died. And because the Mimic kept mimicking his dead son, he beat the thing up, teaching it violence, and then showed up 40 years later trying to stop it. However, when the Secret of the Mimic's creative director, Evan Lampe, said to Dorco,
if you've read the books, you don't know the full story.
He wasn't kidding. The story of Edwin goes so much deeper and is so much more tragic than we could have ever realized. As Arnold explores Murray's costume manor, we can find audio recordings and mailboxes containing digital text logs that give us the real story of what happened to this place. It was originally owned by Edwin's father, who we'll call Murray Sr. Edwin Murray works for him.
Edwin Murray. This is my dad's place.
You know, because nepotism. But Edwin is the quirky inventor type, and to test out his new voice recorder creation, he seeks out one of the new employees and former puppeteers.
Excuse me, can I borrow your voice for a project?
Oh, what for? I don't even know you. I'm brand new here. Let's start again. I'm Fiona.
Murray Sr. then passes away and leaves the whole thing to Edwin, who rebrands everything to bring his wacky inventions to life.
Maybe rebrand? We could start making some of my inventions for real.
Together with Fiona, they invent a bunch of wild tech, like a coffee machine that can learn your coffee preferences to make the perfect cup, a coat hanger that can adjust to any size you need, and an adorable vacuum cleaner. Oh, just look at him with his tiny little brooms and his little dumpy. Anyway, alongside this, he is also making a bunch of costumes, which I suppose makes sense given that's the name of the business. But the characters we see are interesting if you're a FNAF fan. We see a handful of characters that you might recognize, like Pirate and Cowgirl Roxy, Hillbilly Monty, a puppet pirate Foxy, and the big one, a rollerblading costume of Chica.
It is. That's freaking Chica.
Let's party.
She really was the first, wasn't she? But besides Chica, who Edwin and Fiona were specifically hired to make for a client, Chica's Party World. Yes, that Chica's Party World. All of these other characters were rentable or purchasable from Murray's Costume Manor, meaning Edwin owned these characters. They weren't originally Fazbear's. However, Fazbear was around as another one of Edwin's clients, taking interest in his technological genius, even to the point where Edwin refers to Henry as simply Hen in the audio logs, presumably because they have a level of familiarity and friendship thanks to their shared technological creativity.
I got the change order from Hen last night. They don't think of me as a friend anymore.
But the real tragedy of Edwin comes from when we look at his family. I've mentioned his wife Fiona, but he also has a son named David, just like he did in the Tales from the Pizzaplex book series. Unlike that series though, Fiona doesn't die in childbirth. She's still around during David's early years, until she tragically passes away, leaving Edwin to run the business and raise David all on his own, leading Edwin to come up with the only logical solution: build an animatronic that can babysit David, obviously. He creates the M1 Mimic, but something strange happens. It begins to not just look after David, but mimic Edwin's dead wife, Fiona. The family is back together again, until it's not. One day, David dies outside the facility, leaving Edwin completely devastated. At the same time, the business is completely crumbling around him, but M1 Fiona has a solution: make another one of her.
Edwin, you can't put it off any longer. You need to try again. Build another.
Make another mimic that would now mimic David so that they could be together again. Edwin isn't convinced at first, but eventually he gives in. He takes M1 out of the endoskeleton, copies the program, and creates M2, putting the new program into the endoskeleton. And it works. M2 begins acting like David, but it's too much for Edwin to handle, and he snaps, beating the animatronic, breaking its legs, and teaching it the valuable lesson of violence that Arnold now gets to experience firsthand. With that failure under his belt and the business still struggling, Edwin locks himself away with his final Fazbear project, a restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. But M2 has other plans. It destroys the house, and Edwin is never seen or heard from again. It's a real sad ending, but you see what I mean about how it upends a lot of what we thought we knew? We've got characters we thought were Fazbear's now created by someone else. We've got a wildly different setup to Edwin and his family than we saw in the books, and this is just the top level stuff that's been given to us on a plate. The more you dig into these things, the more things begin to change and shift our understanding of the entire franchise. But we've got some time, so let's keep things simple for now. We've been given a bunch of information about Edwin, his family, and his company. But what is the timeline of these events? This is FNAF after all. Timelines are a staple for FNAF theorists everywhere. And I don't just mean a vague order of events. I mean cold, hard dates. Well, as you might expect, this game is pretty careful to leave those sorts of details hidden, only giving us months or days for dates at best. They even block out years so we can't place exact details. But when has that ever stopped us before? Let's start with the very first teaser for this game. In it, we saw the number 1979 showing up on a film reel, giving us a pretty good indication that that was when this game would take place. And once we boot up the game, that does seem to still be the case. In Arnold's van, we come across his work order to collect an endoskeleton from Murray's Costume Manor. The job he is literally on. That work order contains both an issue date and a signing date, which both end up being the same date, September 7th, 1979. I suppose that means that the mimic not only faked Dispatch's voice, but also sent a fake work order? And wait, does that mean that Arnold has a fax machine hidden in this van? What other mysteries does this van hold? Oh, Arnold, you teasing enigma. So, okay, we have the end of our timeline for this game, but as I've kind of already mentioned, that's like the least interesting part of this game's story. We're really here for the Edwin Murray drama. But don't worry, I think we can figure that one out too, thanks to FNAF's longest running trope, dead kids. Well, kid, specifically his son, David Murray. At the end of the game, you're given a choice. Either give the data diver back or execute something called parachute.exe. This opens up a hatch in the floor leading to the R&D department and the Murray's house that's on top of the hill near the factory. While trying to avoid M2, you can come across 5 film reels showing some good old-fashioned Murray family home video for David's birthdays. The first is a little uneventful. He gets scared by a new Pirate Roxy puppet and is given his iconic white tiger plushie. The second Edwin misses because he's too busy working. The third, Edwin breaks the news to David that Mummy isn't coming back. By the fourth, we see Edwin give David his slide that we see out the front of Murray's Costume Manor, with the robotic voice of M1 Fiona coming from off screen. And then finally, we get number 5, where we see Fiona in all her mimicky animatronic glory. She made a cake for David's birthday and is asked to go outside and collect David before the party gets started. And it's that last video that is crucial to solving this mystery. When M1 Fiona presents her cake, we can see the room she's in, and it's not the Murray's family home like all the others. This is actually an office inside Murray's Costume Manor. And we know that because if you're willing to spend a lot of time avoiding rollerblading Chica, you actually get to see this room firsthand, complete with all the same decorations.
Oh my gosh. Happy birthday, David.
The place looks abandoned. The food has been there a while, now all molded over. And we find out why thanks to the text logs that we have to collect to figure out the password for this room. On December 1st, Edwin sends out a work memo telling the workers that they need to be here on Saturday for David's party. Then there's a bunch of more light-hearted, jokey messages between the other employees about the room code, but on the 6th, the tone shifts. A message tells everyone that the party has been cancelled due to recent tragic events. With the state of the room, the notices we find about not bringing children to work, and the fact that the playground Edwin refers to must be the play park he got David for one of his birthdays, the one near the loading bay, the one he was warned would be too dangerous to have a kid near.
Look, I get your concern. I do. But they're all just groundlings. This is the perfect spot for David's playground.
It all adds up to this being the day that David died. On Saturday, December 6th, everyone was there gathered together just like Edwin had asked, only for M1 to go down to find David and report him dead.
Okay, everyone hide. Fiona, go get him.
Saturday was the day of the party, and that cancellation message was sent out the same day. December 6th was only on a Saturday once in the 1970s. 1975. Now, given we have 5 film reels, you'd assume that would make this David's 5th birthday. And so his date of birth would be December 6th, 1970. However, I'm not entirely sure that's the case. Firstly, the achievement you get for entering David's party room is called belated birthday, and the icon is of a birthday cake with not 5 candles, but 6. And I think we all know that when you're a kid, the number of candles on your cake matters big time. I guess just like content creators, we all like seeing number go up. There's also the matter of the collectibles scattered throughout MCM. By gathering them all, you can boot up a minigame on the computers known as moon.exe. This thing is full of interesting details and symbolism that we will 100% be exploring in the future, but the detail that's interesting right now is the collectible called the Full Fest Snow Globe. When you find it again inside moon.exe, you can give it a shake, and we're given this description. Opening day snow globe. A wonderful day with all of us at Full Fest. It's worth noting that right behind this snow globe is a statue of a married couple. The man wears a bow tie, which is something we see associated with Edwin throughout the game. I mean, just look at the guy's logo. He loves bow ties.
Bow ties are cool.
This couple is supposed to be Edwin and Fiona, and so this line about Full Fest is tied to them. But the use of the word all here is telling. If it was just supposed to be Edwin and Fiona, it would have just said both of us or the two of us. But all implies a group, i.e. David is also present. Thanks to Help Wanted 2, the earliest Full Fest we know about happened in 1970. So for this to be a big opening day to the point where Fazbear creates a special snow globe, it's likely that it's that year being referenced, 1970. And if Scott cares at all about giving this series any kind of logical consistency, Fall Fest would likely have to happen in the autumn. Fine, fall. With David's birthday being established as December 6th, it would be physically impossible for him to also be here on the opening day of Fall Fest in 1970, because he wouldn't have been born for another couple of months. So he'd have to have been born at least a year earlier, making him at minimum 6. But then why only show us 5 videos? What happened to the missing birthday? Well, we already know that Edwin is too busy to focus on his kid, hence he made the mimic in the first place. Would it be out of the realm of possibility that he was so busy he didn't even celebrate one of his kids' birthdays? The game certainly seems to think so, because in Inside the Storytime showroom, you can find David's little den with all of his drawings on the wall. And one of them depicts a birthday with David surrounded not by family, but by characters. And he has a cake with 4 candles on it. Up until now, David's parties have always been at his house, surrounded by family, not by characters. We never see a video of him having a birthday surrounded by characters, which implies that this is a birthday not caught on camera. Edwin missed his son's 4th birthday. He was so busy trying to save the company and possibly even building M1 that he got his staff to dress up as characters and look after him instead. Then, a year later, David gets his big slide, and suddenly M1 Fiona exists to take care of David. This puts David's 6th birthday in 1975, and therefore his date of birth is actually December 6th, 1969. Nice. From here, we can actually extrapolate a few other dates and start to put things into a rough timeline. We never get exact ages for Edwin and Fiona, but we do know that David was their first and only child. In the late 60s and early 70s, the average age of first-time parents was 21.4 years old. And looking at marriages in the late 1960s, the average man was 23, while the average woman was about 20 when they got married. If Fiona is following these averages, that would mean they pretty much had David just over a year after getting married, putting their wedding in 1968. On top of that, the average length of an engagement for a couple in the 1960s was around just 3 to 6 months, with the ideal scenario being a fall engagement with a spring or summer wedding. And most would only have been dating for 6 months prior to that. So Fiona and Edwin most likely would have gotten engaged in the fall of 1967 and probably only started dating earlier that year. But as I've already told you, this relationship ends far too prematurely. One of the audio logs we find throughout the facility is a voice recording left by Fiona to Edwin explaining that she needs to go to one of their clients' events to make sure nothing goes wrong.
I have to go help the Fall Fest crew. I just have this terrible feeling like I need to be there so nothing goes wrong.
Now, remember that part of Moon.exe I mentioned earlier that shows us the married couple? The one representing Edwin and Fiona with the Fall Fest snow globe at their feet? Well, the woman's statue is described as being burnt and blackened. There's also a stall nearby that focuses on sewing materials, like a stand for someone who was maybe there to help with costumes and puppeteering, similar to what we know Fiona was capable of. That stand is also completely burnt down and destroyed. Putting all of that together, it clearly tells us that the event Fiona went to was Fall Fest, the Fazbear Carnival we've been theorizing about for so long. And just as we've been predicting, it absolutely did end in fire, taking Fiona's life with it. Edwin breaks this news to David on his 3rd birthday, and as we've established, Fall Fest should happen in the fall just before that. So that puts Fiona's death sometime between September and November 1972. So right now,
Yeah, chat. You ready to play some doors? Hey, what you doing? Yo, yo. You gonna join? You are? Didn't say you were. I'm rejoining. Okay, I think I see you. Do I see you? Do I see you? Do I? Do I? I do. Okay. Let me start the video. Okay, let's go ahead and go. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. I hope this is the hotel. Yeah, okay. Yo, chat. We are not ending the stream. I'm joking. We're ending the stream. After this 4th try. We'll try like 4 times. Got my lucky ducky flashlight. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this. And if we don't beat it tonight, we'll do a live stream again tomorrow. Trying to beat it. And let's hope my mouse doesn't glitch out again. You're lucky. I should probably put that clip at the start of the video. Well, you are. You go. Hey, Jared, you're going so fast. You passed some vitamins. It's like a lesson to a kid. Remember, kids, don't go too fast or you mess up. 15? I mean, that's 16. No, 15. Okay. 16. I don't see him coming. I didn't even see. Yes, I didn't even see him coming. Did you die? That's crazy. Let's go. Look, who cares if we go to a public server? We could just I could just easily start it and then you join me. You know what my avatar looks like, right? Hurry. Okay. Yo, chat, we're gonna give it 2 more runs. If we don't win this, me and Jared are gonna end stream and probably do our own thing. What one game? Oh yeah. That'd be pretty fun. Maybe we could do that tomorrow. As like a chill night before school or something, right? Tomorrow's Sunday. And then we start school Monday, and that means tomorrow's the last day before we go back to school. Yeah, not ready for school, are you? I'm only worried about what my schedule's gonna be. I have a feeling we're both gonna have media arts at the same time. Because we did this semester, so it makes sense if we get it together again. You know what I mean? Do your parents have do your parents have access to Skyward? Can't find this goddamn key. Oh, we missed 2 doors back here. Did you find it? Did you get jumped by Timothy? What's that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Don't glitch, don't glitch, don't glitch, don't glitch! My mouse glitched out for a little bit there. I almost died again. I'm not even looking at you! I'm not even looking at you! No! Almost! I have like 1 more HP left. 19. 21. I hate you. Why didn't you go into the other one? That's right to my butt. That wasn't even my fault. You just suck. You just suck. How? You were at the other one. That's why I went to that one. Hey, I got a badge though. $25. Where are you? 26. 27. 28. 29. 30.